and welcome to the Highly Visible Podcast. My name is Dan, and I'm here with my friends, Caden.
Dad, what's up?
Yikes. Colin.
I don't know if I can perform a podcast after that display.
And Thomas.
You can.
I think that you can power through.
And tonight we're going to go down a road less traveled. We're going to give you some character development, some backstory, a little bit of insight into the minds and whys of your glorious hosts. And to start off with, we're going to go something very broad, very general. Get an idea, get a feel for it. I know that Cullen has some would you rathers in the back pocket. So, with that, we all, believe it or not, are on a podcast. I know that's news to all of you. You wouldn't consider a podcast, obviously. If you did, you'd be wrong. But if you wouldn't consider a podcast a waste of your time, what other form of entertainment would you not consider a waste of time? When I'm talking about, if you're just burning an entire evening on Netflix, that's generally a waste of time, especially while the dishes mold in the sink. I mean, like, what other forms of entertainment do you just consider, okay, this is something that I can enjoy without guilt?
Why do I have to feel guilty?
This is a person that was raised without limits. Got it.
This is a Dan. No. This is a person who has healthy boundaries. Being like, hey man, I'm not a piece of shit because I played video games for 2 hours tonight, while there was a dish I needed to do. This is a Dan problem. Hold on, fucking turn these tables, Dan. Fuck you. Why do you think I have to feel bad for playing video games? Go.
You don't. You just should have. Okay, so like when you were raised as a child, which apparently you weren't very well. When you were raised as a child, you should have been probably taught, work before play. Do your homework before you go outside and play with your friends, because you're an absolute bastard by the time it's time to do your homework before bed. So you might as well get it done while you're still in the school mood, right? Whole deal, do the hard thing first. Do the thing that sucks before you do the thing that is leisurely. That's what I mean. I don't mean that, like, if you scroll through TikTok for 4 hours after you just got done spring cleaning, absolutely. Go nuts. But I'm saying, like, as a guilty pleasure, like, everybody comes home, kicks off their shoes, drinks a few beers, and burns. Go ahead.
I just love how we're like 2 minutes in and Cullen already got triggered and went the fuck off. Like,
it's going to be a long episode.
God
people stop it.
No, because I just disagree with Dan's outlook.
Absolutely. And mine is different. Absolutely. And I'm not like trying to impart what I see, how I view the world onto you. Basically, my questions are for me to gain insight and for our lovely listeners to gain information, if nothing else. And if they're so damn bored, guess what? Previous episodes exist. So, my point is I have a very unique view of the world. I do believe in a more, coming from a guy with a double chin, fierce enough to see from the fucking Hubble Space Telescope, but I do believe in discipline. Just I get apparently not of that with pizza rolls, but my point is, in a disciplined world, what kind of entertainment, not even entertainment, what kind of media would you consider a less of a waste of time? Whatever metric you use to gauge what is or is not a waste of time is up to you. I don't mean that you have to feel guilty and, fucking repent for your sins. I just mean, like,
guilt was the word you chose specifically.
Was it? That may be.
Yes.
That may be, but yeah. I mean,
you said without
you should
feeling
feel guilty. Have you not seen you? But that's another issue.
I'm sexy, growing sexier by the minute. So not sure what your point is.
It's fair.
I actually don't know an answer to this because I don't really ever feel bad for not doing shit. Like,
that in itself is telling. I like it. But I also figured that would be not that would be your answer, but I figured it would be close. You don't seem like someone who is apologetic for enjoying things in any capacity.
I don't give a fuck. Fuck you.
I know that about you. We've been friends for longer than 15 minutes. I also know that Thomas goes both ways with this.
Oh, I feel guilty no matter what I do, pretty much.
Oh, well, I've also seen like sporadic moments where you're like completely comfortable. Like, what do you call that? Treat yourself. The whole treat. Like, I did a fucking good thing today. I'll treat myself. And then on the next day, you'll be like, I will not enjoy anything until I have done this excruciating thing. Shut the fuck up, Cullen. I know what you're gonna say.
No, you don't. You definitely don't. Because
I do.
I don't even remember anymore because I waited too long.
Good.
But he was like, I always feel guilty. And I was just imagining Thomas at a soup kitchen, like crying. Like
I played
all those
Skyrim
people
for 2,
soup
yeah.
and just be like, I feel so bad. Yeah, sorry. Like doing the nicest thing in the world and still feeling guilty.
Thomas stops at every hold in Skyrim and goes to every beggar. It's like, here's a gold piece.
I literally
Right.
do.
God damn.
I used to, dude, listen. I was like, hey man,
I
I
adopt all
sneak
the
up
kids.
behind them. Yeah, hell yeah. You sneak up behind the fucking the beggar and stash like 3 million gold in their pockets. They're like, I need a gold coin. It's like, fuck you, motherfucker. I just made you rich, dude.
You have to hit the refresh button.
And he's still out here going, hey. Yeah.
It's an awesome
It's
time.
like South Park,
Spare change.
No.
Spare change.
where they're just like, no, you give him $20, he's like, change. Immediately.
Hey man,
$20
I've been saving up for my birthday. Here's $20. She's like, spare change. He's like, yeah, that's all I had. I kind of thought that was a lot of money. And the guy's like, and just walks away. Spare change.
This well's dry.
That's ironically though, that whole thing about, you know, giving a homeless or giving anybody something and then they come back begging for more. It's also another part of it is just the one of the hardest things for people to do is to realize when enough is enough of anything, let alone money. But well, with that terribly insightful section.
Did
we'll
anyone
go ahead
even
and-
answer the question?
No.
No, you shit on it. I answered for Thomas. who
I just
actually stole
disagree
his
with it.
answer.
Listen,
Yeah, I know.
I'll tell you what I don't
What
feel
do you
guilty
got?
about, which I have not done in quite some time. Is getting up in the morning, with a cup of coffee, and watching the sunrise when I should
Pretty-
be
pretty
doing
classic.
something.
What a great eHarmony profile, bro. Congratulations. You're going to get so many
Is that
matches.
real?
I'm gonna get so many fucking cougars hit me up.
I'll
Yeah.
watch the sun with you.
Oh, this fucking guy likes to watch the sunset, huh? Or sunrise. I'm sorry. This guy
Is it
wakes
real?
up at 5:45 and watches the sunrise. It's my guy.
One of my favorite things about camping, like just being woke up by the sun, I like that quite a bit.
Move to a more directed question.
Thomas didn't answer.
Yes,
What do you
Thomas
got?
answer.
Oh, that wasn't like a joke answer. I literally will feel guilty no matter what I do. Media wise, I tend to not feel that bad about books. I listen to books constantly, but also like I don't usually listen to like useful books. It's usually like Stephen King on repeat all day. I don't know. I never can decide what the right thing to do is until after I've already started something. So like no matter what I pick, I will be wrong. Does that make sense?
Yes, but it's also
So, like-
you and I usually have a very different way of viewing situations, and that is something you and me fundamentally disagree on. And it's not like not to start a whole debate, but on that, fundamentally, if there is something that you feel that you have to do, and it causes you anything other than other than a duty that you have to say your family. If it's something that you do recreationally for your own either advancement, peace, or enjoyment, or leisure, or whatever, if it is something you feel that you have to do because of some self-imposed regulation or some, whatever, at that point, it's worth dropping. It's the same thing, in my opinion, as doing something only for the optics of doing it.
Mhm.
Drop it. Be done with it. It is useless. Cast it. If you do something recreationally and it does nothing but stress you out, abandon it. Walk away from it. But a lot of people, once they start things, have a hard time finishing them. And it's
Yeah.
also the same thing as a lot of people who want to start things have a hard time starting them. It just depends on where on the spectrum you fall. Yeah, absolutely.
Where your hill is in that diagram.
I'm absolutely not afraid to just hold up and chop off an entire section of my life. I don't give a heck. If I do something that causes that I'm doing for leisure in that same aspect, like books, the moment it becomes something like I feel like I have to do, I'll take a break. I'll force myself to walk away from it for a while. Caden, what you got?
See, mine depends on the thing, because if it's like a necessary thing, then like I'm like, I'll do that some other time, Now, with something for my pleasure, like fish tanks and aquariums and having fish, and from having, I think we got our first aquarium in January. a 40 gallon. Now I have 3. Like,
An enthusiast.
yes, I don't know what it is, but like just having fish and understanding the depth of what goes into fish tanks. Not just like, oh, I have a fish bowl, I have a goldfish. Oh, it died a week later. Well, that's because your fish fucking shit in the water and it, basically killed itself because there's so much ammonia in the water. There's so much that goes into fish tanks and like maintaining a fish tank and the upkeep. But like once you got it down, then you want to just like, man, I kind of want. You look up online. Oh, there's like fish that are like this fucking big. I can have like I want those fish.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can buy a 210 gallon tank. I want that.
Jeez.
I wouldn't fit in my apartment, but still, that's something I have secretively, well, not secretly, but like unknowingly found passion for. Like, because my girlfriend was like, hey, let's get a little fish tank. I'm like, we go to Petco. I'm like, let's get the 75 gallon. She's like, no. She want like a little fish tank, and then we get a 40 gallon. It's like a decent size, and here we are. I have a 40 gallon, a 10 gallon, and a 55 gallon. So never thought I'd be passionate about fish, but I am now. It's crazy.
I bet 1 year from now he's going to be a saltwater guy, and that's all we're going to hear him talk about.
No, I mean, I've thought about it.
Some new corals. I got, I had that orange one. This one's like orange, but it's got red on the edge. And when you're not looking at it, it has these little things that come out and go like this. It's so fucking cute. I knew a dude. I worked at a plastic factory with a dude who had a big saltwater tank, and he literally talked about it for an hour a day, every single day.
Yeah,
it's so cool, dude.
Like, oh, you worked with Caden at a plastic factory? That's crazy.
Yeah. No, I have 3 freshwater aquariums. I have 3 pea puffers, 4 Dalmatian mollies, 4 orange swordtails, 2 plecostomus, Pictus catfish, a sun catfish. I have 4 parrot cichlids. I have
cichlids
2
are fun.
Electric blue acaras. I have 2 black angelfish. That's what
Angelfish were my jam.
There's one listener 5 years from now going back through the catalog who's just really into fish. Who's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
none of our listeners right now are like fish. They're just like, dude, what these are fishes? That's cool. I like fishes.
Dude, so like learning about fish tanks, like you can't just put a fish tank up, fill it with water, put a filter on, you're good to go. There's something like there's so much that goes into it. Like
I'd have killed all my fish if you hadn't have said that.
The nitrogen cycle, like if you're being technical, you should let your fish tank sit for 4 to 6 weeks before you put fish. 4 to 6 weeks, bro, before you put fish in.
I'm just getting a cat.
Oh, dude. So like, because like then there's beneficial bacteria that build up to eat all the bad bacteria, pretty much. So that's why you let it sit so long.
Yeah, you're creating an entire ecosystem, not just.
You learn about that. You're like, oh, I fill my fucking tank up. You're looking at it like, oh, that's pretty cool. Next year, like, damn, I really wish there was fish in there. And it's so hard not to go out and buy fish when you have a fucking just a tank of water just sitting there.
You can do your running. Plants. You can do some stuff.
Yeah, you do something.
Do you have live plants yet?
Oh yeah, in my 40 gallon breeder I got.
Yeah, underwater garden is definitely a hobby I have coming. I have my little garden in my window at work. My little like misfit orphan garden of stuff people have given me / I found on the side of the road and brought to work. But yeah, I want to do. Remember, Caden, we talked for like 2 hours about life in jars ? On YouTube. He makes these like little self-contained terrarium ecosystems where he, water, plants, bugs, microbes, tiny animals, all that stuff, and just observes them over time. It's super, super cool. I think that I want to do one of these self-sustaining tanks. You'd have to have stumbled on this, Caden, where you have fish and plants living in a sustainable ecosystem where you don't even have to feed them because the plants grow. You have enough plants growing steadily enough to feed the fish, and the fish shitting is what feeds the plants, and like it just all lives.
Zero water changes, my friend.
I'm fascinated by that aspect of it for sure.
Next question. Damn, sorry.
No, you're good.
And shit,
I love it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I mean, podcasts and all that, but like I like hearing people that are talking about like the things that they're genuinely passionate about, not the shit that like captures them for a moment. That shit's fleeting and annoying.
And
like, great, you're in the fucking Bratz dolls. Can you move the fuck on, dude? Like, get to your actual hobby. Like, I don't know. People that actually sit, huh?
That was too specific. He's calling someone out.
That's right.
You're into brass dolls, and you know Dan. He fucking hates you. Just know it.
No, I'm just saying, like,
you.
it was the first thing that popped in my head. But
of course,
I'm playing with my kids and my nieces and all them. But the point is you don't know what you don't know what someone's actually passionate about until they're sitting there in their free time, in their spare time, after a day of work that they fucking hate, digging into the actual core information of a subject. That's when you're like, oh shit, okay, that's what he actually enjoys. Not fucking Anheuser-Busch and fucking, I don't know, any of that trash. It's just, it's cool to hear about what people are actually passionate about, especially nowadays when people's attention spans are like 0.5 milliseconds and they just go from what do you call it, fad to fad, or hot subject to hot subject. It's kind of cool. What do you got?
And it's even better when you unknowingly stumble upon something that you're very passionate about. Like I said, like she wanted a fish tank, and I was like, eh. Then you get a fish tank, you're like, damn, I want fish. And then you just get more and more. Like for me at least, I just get more and more. Now I'm like, it's so cool to sit there and watch the fish and watch them grow. Because like we start out, like our sun cat in this 40-gallon breeder, he sits in this little stump we have, like a log stump covered in moss. He was this fucking big when we got him. That fucker is like that now, and he just sits in that stump and doesn't come out. You put a pellet, like a little sinking pellet in front of his thing. He goes, sticks his face out like, and then whoosh, and then back in the stump. He doesn't come out at all.
See, here's a key thing about you, Caden, in this moment is I didn't know you were I didn't know shit about your love for fish. I had no idea. I know you like fishing, but like to collect and like have fish. If I'd have come to your apartment or your house or whatever and seen that, I'd have been the fucking little girl with the fucking retainer thing on Finding Nemo and be like, boom, boom, boom. But now knowing that you're like this passionate about it, I'd be like, oh fuck, that's worth more than his PC to him. Like, I'm good. I'm not
I don't
gonna
know if
touch
I go that far.
Well, you know what I mean. Like, you know, like
I don't know.
It's like if somebody came to my stuff and messed with my life preservers, like I'd have a problem with it. Don't touch them.
Dan is afraid of flash flooding. Everyone, watch out.
No, they have the ability to preserve and take life. But
you're beating the shit out of someone with a fucking donut inner tube? That's pretty sick. I'd watch that video.
Gotta send him to God somehow.
That's like, a snuff film I'm not aware of.
You will be.
Colin, do you remember when Cartman was trying to kill Kyle with the wiffle ball bat?
Slipping his sweet
I love that shit.
Yes.
Just fucking there 2 days, just hitting him with a wiffle ball bat.
He's like, I don't care, just do it, kill me. He's like,
bong, bong. That's amazing. God, I love that scene.
Talking about passion, though, I'm going to move into a little quick fire. Let me ask each of you one single question, and it's just simple. It's straightforward, just a quick answer as to why or what about it. Things that I know, like I didn't know you were passionate about fish, Caden. That's awesome. Didn't know you knew shit about fish either there, Thomas. But you also have Dory behind you, so there's that. That's a little bit of a tell. But so we'll start with Cullen because that's just the first one I have up here on my notes. But on the
fancy.
Actually looks really good. For those that don't know, he just showed his fish tanks. You should go on and watch the actual video so you can see them.
Yeah, could we get a Twitter bomb of like, you know, a dozen pictures of your fish? That'd be cool.
100%.
So starting with Cullen, if you spend 45 seconds, or even if you just watch this podcast video, you can clearly see the Atlanta hat in the what would be your left hand corner. What is it about sports that you just fucking love so much? What is it?
I feel like we talked about this.
I don't care what we talked about.
Like on no, I mean like on the last episode.
Oh, maybe.
Like I'm pretty sure we talked about that on that last one. But sports are the fucking shit.
We did talk about this. Yeah, it just hit me.
You're welcome.
But go ahead.
There you go.
Do it again.
People, you have been learned. Sports are the bomb because we talked about this last episode, so I won't go too crazy with it. Every sport is chess, and it fucking rules because if you get deep enough into any sport, you're learning all the intricacies and all these little things that these athletes are thinking about. And it's super cool. And it's just like basically any hobby, if you get deep enough into it, they're all fucking just like super complicated. And if you love it, you can start getting into it. And another great thing about sports is they're like the best reality television because you can watch it every night and you never know what the fuck's going to happen. And it's actually real. It's not, unless you watch WWE, in which case, stop. Yeah. Like, where else in the whole world do you get to go sit with 60,000 people where you're all like, fuck yeah, like you're all rooting for the same thing? Like, it just doesn't happen. It's a rare thing, and just it's hard to match in other areas of life.
A world war.
Hell
Also, go Barves.
Caden coming in. All right. I like it. For Thomas, if anyone, including our fans, I mean, even if you go and watch his own personal YouTube, I haven't seen much of it yet, but if you do, I'm almost guaranteeing there's music references. It's this man's life. He lives and breathes music. He's recorded it. He's been his father. I don't know how personal you want to get, but his father has recorded music. He's grown up in the life. So, Thomas, aside from me just spilling all your nostalgia, maybe you can give us a little bit more expanse as to why you love music so much. What is it?
I mean, like, why do you love water, Dan?
I'd die without it, but you wouldn't die without music. Well, maybe you would.
I might. I don't know. I didn't even mean the water thing that way. I mean, like, you just know you love it. Like, you just always have. You can't remember not loving it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
that's kind of where I'm at. Legend has it that I, like, you've seen me on, if you've watched us on YouTube, I can't sit still. I'm constantly rocking back and forth. It's because I hear a song in my head. When I was a young man, like my son's age, like 3, 4, 5 years old, I would fall asleep on a rocking horse every day and be carried to bed. I just always have felt a beat, no matter what I'm doing, to be honest with you. And like, even my thoughts, like when I'm speaking to myself in my head and I'm not thinking about it, I almost always am singing my thoughts. It's always been there, man. I can't not remember a time where I wasn't doing music. My mom says I used to sing myself to sleep when I was a baby. Like, I would just lay in the crib and go, and eventually I would stop and I'd be asleep. My son does some of that stuff. It's, I don't know, Dan, you might have more insight on this having children, but like, there are some things your children might learn from you and some things that there's no way they could have learned from you, so they have to be genetic.
Yes.
And part of the fun of having offspring is figuring out what things about you probably learned and what things about you are genetic. My son literally, like, will be in his room and I'll be in here and I'll hear him in there going, I don't know what we should do now. We should watch TV, just for himself, just because he had to make a song.
Another thing about that is not only do you get to sit there and learn what is inherited and what is, what is taught, but you also get to sit there as a parent and wonder, how the fuck did my parents deal with this shit as a kid? When you find out what's inherited, that's my part of it for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Caden. Your turn in the hot seat, homie. Oh, hang on.
Hold on 1 second. Just I wanted to let Thomas have his moment. You said like, oh, I sing every thought. That sounds like a personal hell to me. Cause I can't stand people who sing things. Like you've never bothered me, but like, I can't stand like musicals. Like when singing things that aren't supposed to be sang just bugs the fuck out of me. So that sounds like I would literally, I'd be dead. I'd just be dead momentarily.
It reminds me of an episode of Scrubs where like this woman comes in and she has like this medical condition where everything she hears is in song. It's like a whole episode. It's awesome. I mean, it is exactly that. It's hell, but like we got.
Has anyone here watched Hoodwinked?
Oh, absolutely.
Remember the
I got
goat?
horns to hold my bottles. I got horns to hold my keys. I got horns to hold my other horns. I always come prepared. I love that movie.
Oh, I haven't thought of that in so long. Yeah, I have.
Be
Yeah.
prepared.
Such
Be
a-
prepared. This
Hell
message
yeah.
must be shared.
You to sing everything that you say? That's right. You just talked just now. Oh,
Did I? Did I?
Such a good movie, dude. Oh my god.
The sequels weren't terrible either. I've watched all of it. several times.
I feel like after the
Different
seventh
tangent.
several, it's probably not several. Probably just a lot.
It's a lot of times.
All right, sorry, Dan.
No, you're fine. Absolutely. I don't know about any of you, but I know that if I'm assembling a SHTF, shit hit the fan, or an end of the world, or a bug out, or a survival team, not just kissing your ass because we're on a podcast, that rhymed, but genuinely because you have skills I do not, I would have Caden on my team. And why? Because of his love, not only just his love of the outdoors, but his knowledge and skills in hunting. I've heard this man has bagged deer.
Stuff.
Now I know for a damn fact I have had family members, I've had friends, I've had coworkers, people I've served with that have gone out and come back empty-handed because they're fucking failures. But to sit here in the presence of a man who's actually bagged and taken life, pretty impressive. So, Caden, hunting, it's a big thing for you. You talk about it quite frequently. I love the concept of hunting. I love the ideology behind it. I'm not a big hunter myself. Oh, hey, that's a whole nother issue. Or not issue, but a whole nother thing. But why? What is it about hunting? What got you into hunting? What do you love about it so much?
My grandfather, he's always the big, hunter. And when I was a kid, like my parents would take us to my grandparents, and my grandma would take us to school. And my grandpa, I remember throughout the winter, there was a week where he was off that week, and he'd, throw on his camo and go hunt, went to school. I remember one year he got a fucking, I don't know, huge, big buck. But I think as a kid, like, I was a little chicken shit, when it came to like guns and stuff like that. I liked guns, but I was scared of the anticipation of shooting a gun,
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess out of high school, I went to college for a short period of time, and then I dropped out, and then I was kind of like a funk almost, like that. And then just one day we were in Columbus at the mall. Well, I shouldn't say where it was at, but anyway, so we were at the mall in Columbus, and I went to the gun section just looking around, and I was like, man, I want to go hunting. So I was 18, yeah. So I texted my grandma. I was like, hey, I want to go hunting with Papa this year. She's like, okay. And then, I talked to him, and he's taught all the gun, safety, the hunter safety courses you got to take. It's like 8 hours or something like that of, hunter courses, safety courses, gun safety, all that stuff like that. And then I went. And my first year going out hunting with my grandpa, I killed a little 4-point buck. And ever since then, it's been 6 years of hunting. I've only killed 3 deer, 2 itty bitty bucks, and 1 doe. Just being outside, like in nature, I guess. I mean, it's hard to describe. Like you just feel like you're like, I should be out here, Being out from the city, it's fucking quiet. Squirrels running around, fucking. You're like, you think it's a deer, or it's a fucking squirrel running around the fucking ground, like motherfucker.
I know that feeling you're talking about. Like when we first started going camping as a family, and we would just go on hikes in the woods. In my head, I refer to it as sliding into my element.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're in the woods and you feel like you belong. That's a great feeling.
On that, exactly that. Tom, for you, that was the alternative. That was not the alternative. That was the original. Why do you love this so much question for you? But I figured it was too close to Caden. And I also know ever since I've known you, which is shorter than Caden, it's been music. You know what I mean? That seemed more natural for you, but I do know that you and your family do love the camping trips.
I mean, I am a man of phases. I am very like lunar in that way. Like during the wintertime, I get super into I'll get super into Star Wars, start playing Minecraft or whatever. And then once summer hits, I want to cook things outside. I want to I've been actually catching some fish this last couple years. Like I have squirrel moments. So my wife calls them, I'll be super into something, and then squirrel, I'm into this next thing for another 3 months. Gotcha. And then I'm into the next thing, and then I'm into the next thing. But the things that are really important are the ones that are like cyclical versus opportunistic. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like sometimes something will just grab me and I'll get back into it, and I'll fall away from it just as easy. But other things like camping, it's like as soon, like today, today was the first day of this year I cooked food outside. And from now until it is too cold to do that, I will be doing that.
I gotta ask, what'd you have?
I made 1/2 pound burgers. I made cheddar wursts. I made barbecue
Excellent.
jerk chicken. I would have kept cooking stuff. I was about to throw bacon on there. If it was meat and in my fridge, it was about to go on a grill. My wife had to pull me back.
It's amazing. I like it. We got
Can I say something about hunting as well?
absolutely.
Okay. So I don't know about you guys, Dan, perhaps. The feeling, the thought, the act of taking a life, not human, I don't have that experience, but, I mean, killing rabbits or like, birds, that's one thing, but like a deer, I don't know, something out, just being out there in anticipation of shooting something that big, and deer, I mean, it's not that big. I mean, it's big, but it's not like a bear or an elk or something like that, but just because I can look at a deer through a scope when I'm not going to shoot it and be like perfectly fine. And I can look at a deer through a scope when it's hunting season and just your heart's thumping, your heart starts racing and shit. It's almost like a primal, because like I'm gonna fucking shoot this thing. I'm gonna kill this animal.
It's the last day on Earth.
Yes, and then like this past doe I shot, I hit her clean through the heart. She ran maybe 10 yards. She fell over. 5 seconds, she was dead. Like her tail shook. She was after that it was stiff. She was dead. So it was a clean kill. It's about as clean as you can get. So, but just like you get there and you're like holding it up, and like I feel like the same thing. Fishing, you catch a fish. I think there's something primal about like, oh shit, like I got food. I can eat.
Yes.
Getting a deer and you're sitting there like, oh my god, like you're like there's something primal about it. Your heart's racing. It's just like adrenaline flowing. I don't know. There's something. Our ancestors. Felt. When they were hunting like deer and mammoth and or like something. I don't know. It's hard to explain for someone who hasn't been out there and even like attempted to hunt or shoot a deer. It's hard to explain and then be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But like once you're out there sitting and you're like, I'm about to shoot this fucking deer, and your heart's racing, thumping. Some people probably have never had their heart like thump like that, People call it buck fever, deer fever, whatever you want to call it. You can't explain that. Like there's something primal about that, The rush you get. It's a rush. It's an adrenaline dump. It's hard to explain, Even sitting on here, I mean, I've shot 3 deer. I've shot at, multiple deer, and missed. I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, wish I had done that. Wish I had done that. But on the next day.
On that, it's also a huge part of that is, I would have to say, would be the comprehension, understanding, and recognizing of like the gravity of what you're about to do. And it's like anything like enjoyed in excess. Once you lose that, once it just becomes a thing that you do, you need to step away because it's no longer serving that original purpose. You're no longer taking in what you're supposed to be taking from it. Absolutely. That's you're like talking about human life. Like that's what takes someone from like doing something in self-defense or, doing something righteous to being a serial killer. Like,
yeah,
you're doing something because it needs to be done versus something you just do it because you're doing it.
Yeah. Well, that, and, you're doing it to eat too. Like I'm not dependent on, deer meat to eat, but like,
right.
You like, I mean, you hear like, these like veterans and Navy SEALs and all that stuff, seeing like death all the time. And, maybe you can test something like that, seeing death, but I've never witnessed a human, like expire, like close up. But I've watched, I've seen like dead humans, but watching an animal like a deer, like take his last breath, like, you're like right in
It
front of it.
carries weight.
Yeah, it's heavy,
Yes.
especially like, for guys that have been doing it for, years and years and years, like, it's whatever. Like my grandpa, my first deer, I shot it. It wasn't a clean shot. I shot the neck because it was laying down. He told me to shoot it, and I hit it, and it just kind of flopped over or whatever. I'm like, oh, it's still alive, and he just like kicks it. He's like, he'll die. And I was like, what the hell? Like, but like just
Shit.
yeah, but like watching it like lay
Yeah.
there and breathe and look at you, it's like it's like I don't know, it's
But
crazy.
see, you understand that.
Yeah,
That's
like that thing is coherent and it knows what's going on. It's like
yes.
it might not know it's dying, but it knows like for sure, like it's like, oh shit.
Yes.
But
Absolutely.
even we took it to their house, we cleaned it out, the hose and all that stuff like that, and he just truck it out, and the head just smacked the ground. And I was like, hey, like, because like you think of it, it's hard to separate. Like, well, that's just a corpse now. It's just a meat and bones. That's all it is.
That even then, I mean, you're retaining some respect.
Yeah,
for it,
exactly. Exactly.
Absolutely, some ceremony. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
it's when you lose that is when you start to become that, not necessarily nihilistic, but that just complacent, cold,
jaded.
Yeah. There's no strength in indifference.
Yeah,
when it comes to death, and I've fallen victim to that. But
there is some utility in it sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. No, I'm not. I will argue that until I'm dead. Yeah. Yes, there is, especially in that line of work. Not that line of work, sorry, but like in that line of work, there is. But at the same time, there's no strength in it.
Even like not this most recent God of War, but the one before where you're hunting deer and Atreus shoots a deer and it's laying there. He's like all excited, oh, I shot it, he wants to go track it and like that, and it's laying there, and then Kratos like, here,
finish it.
You started it, finish it. He's like, I can't do it. When your adrenaline's going, it's like, but then like it's dead or not dead, but it's laying there. It's like it's all like you have to finish it. Like you have to like for sure like end this thing's life. He's like, I can't do it. He's like, finish it. So he, puts the knife in his hand and he puts it through his throat and then kills it, That's heavy shit because like that first year, I killed. I killed. And he's like, shoot it again, shoot in the head, put out its misery. Now it's heavy too. It's like, that's almost, it's 10 times harder than the first, the shot where you're like, oh shit,
The first shot seems like a fair competition or something, and the next one
12 gauge, 3-inch shell slug. Like it felt like nothing pulling the trigger. When you're up on that, you're up on it, and it's you never killed something to that extent, and it's laying there like breathing, and like part of you is like, well, you don't want to let it, suffer, but it's like, fuck, man, I want to kill this thing. You almost like regret shooting it, almost, Part of you does, like, damn, man. But you do it because it's the right thing to do, You don't want to let it sit there and like fucking choke on its blood, You just kill it, like, bam,
What would you want
out.
to have done? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Has it changed the way you view eating meat at all?
No.
Like, not that it did give you
where
pause,
the meat's from,
but,
I guess.
yeah.
But you definitely, appreciate where the meat's from. Like, some people are just like, oh, meat it's in the fridge, Oh, I got to the store and buy it. Like, I mean, it's a cow. Yes, it's the animal, but like, it's a living thing,
That cow probably didn't have a family and like.
Exactly. I mean, they're not like humans. You can't think of it. That's the thing. Like, you have to separate, like, you have to mentally think about, like, I'm doing this because I'm going to eat that. And then you want to get up to it. Like, you almost want to thank you for, I mean, it sucks that you're dead, but thank you for letting me, because I'm going to eat now,
It's deep.
Like Dan said, like, you have to respect, the respect level, not just like, oh, it's a deer, cut it up. Like, this thing not gave its life, but you took that thing's life, it was gonna, get eaten by fucking coyotes anyway,
Or
was
freeze
going
to
to die a
death.
peaceful. That too. So
Yeah, that
heavy
was a
shit,
big
man.
that was a big hunting thing for me. Actually finding a deer corpse that froze to death. Like we used to hike in these woods behind where we were living. We weren't really supposed to be there. It was like farmer's land, but if we stayed in the trees and didn't go out in the field, he wouldn't see us. And we go back there and explore, and you'd literally find like just deer bones chilling out in a pile where they just laid down and died. And it's
Yeah.
like, what was this for? You know what I mean?
You mean corpses of deer I see during hunting week from guys just
Take the horns and
poaching,
go.
that they shoot a giant fucking deer, giant buck, and they'll just you see where they cut her off with a recip saw or something like that, cut his antlers off and leave the whole deer laying there and it's rotten. It's like that's fucking bullshit, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Disrespectful.
Yeah, it is. And some people are like, oh, it's just an animal, but like
I draw
it's
a
hard
hard
to-
ass line there.
yeah. It's hard, like I said, from to be out there and shoot it at a living thing. That's not a squirrel or a fucking bird or a rabbit, like something that you're like, well, that's fucking cool. And you're like, I'm gonna fucking eat you. Your heart's going, and then to like, that's the easiest. Clean kill. You shoot it from a distance, clean kill. You walk up to it, it's dead. You walk up to it and it's fucking breathing, looking at you like, you're like, fuck, man. It's heavy shit. It's really heavy shit.
Is it kind of like that moment at the end of a UFC fight where even the guy who lost is like, that was a good fight?
Kinda, yeah.
Like you're both acknowledging each other somehow.
Yeah, like I don't know what, I can't think of what the deer's thinking. Like it's probably thinking like, wish I could get away, but
Really sucks that you shot me, mate.
I imagine the deer's just laying there like, coyotes won this one.
But this past doe that I shot, I felt the best about because I cleaned through the heart. She like ran like 5 or 6 feet and she dropped and then she was dead. Like so I was like, okay. And you're like, okay, it's done and over with. It's not like I have to go up there and be like, put the thing out of its misery.
I think I'm gonna let you take me on my first deer hunting trip, Caden. It's gonna happen pretty soon. I need to do it really bad.
Won't see anything. That's the thing.
It is what it is, but it's a thing that I've been thinking about for years that really bothers me. I haven't done yet. Me and Dan have talked about this. Like my guilt is a big thing in my process, but also the fear of fear. It's like another part of it. I don't want the first time I have to kill and butcher a deer to be when my like kids are starving. I want the first time to be when it doesn't matter that much, so I can actually learn what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
No,
that's another good thing
video.
too.
Yeah.
So this past season is the first year I actually skinned. Because normally you take it to wherever they butcher it for you. Well, I took it to my buddy's uncles, and they have a whole hunting group. Me and my buddy Mason, we skinned my deer in the bed of my truck. Then we put it on these hangers, put it in a cooler. Then we went back, part of me going to work, and we actually cut it up, like, quartered it. I cut, we cut the roast off, the steaks, made hamburger, all that stuff. That, hell of a lot cheaper too that way.
Big experience though, right?
Exactly. I mean, like just cutting, skinning it, you're like, oh, that's a dead deer. And then you take the skin off and you're like, it's just a fucking bones and muscle now,
That's interesting.
Yeah. That was an experience. Sorry to, go on a tangent again, Dan, but
You're good. You're good. You're good. Absolutely. You're fine. It's the whole point of this thing.
Colin, you haven't said much.
Airtime. Well, I got something
an
for
hour
Colin.
or so.
He's a raging pacifist, but excellent. All right, so
Colin, I got something for you.
Okay. I do have some. I'll start with him, since he said probably the least in the past 20 minutes. So, unfortunately, we all have very specific, we have general interests, but we have very specific things that make us who we are, blah, 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 all the things. Unfortunately, though, we're all cursed to work into a factory because that's just the world we were brought up in. So, we're going to go ahead and talk about this, and I'll have you start because you're you. Say you could go to school for free. Say you could do anything you wanted to do, whatever, other than some outlandish, stupid ass thing. If you could go to school to study one thing and do one thing professionally to earn an honest living, what would it be?
If I got free schooling, there's like, I mean, if it was free, it would probably change things, but no, it wouldn't because I'd still have to work to pay for my house.
To any degree,
Sports writing.
Okay. Yeah. Like if you want a bachelor's to a doctorate, or if you want to go straight to a doctorate,
if I didn't have to
matter.
work too, I might go psychology. But if I got to work, I'm probably just gonna do sports writing.
Did you know that sports psychology is a thing?
I don't really want to treat people with the yips. It's all in your head. Shut the fuck up.
Explain what that is.
The yips.
Yes.
It's when athletes can no longer do super simple things, like pitchers can no longer fucking throw a ball. Like they get so deep in their head, and about whatever it is that's deep in their head, and they just can no longer do things that used to be super simple to them.
What's your favorite part of like what aspect of sports writing are you interested in? Is it like the play-by-play, or is it the like the breakdown, or is it the predictions, or you know what I mean? Like there's lots of different facets of sports writing.
Yeah, I like stories. I like talking about sports. I like predicting. I like discussing what happened. Yeah, all of it. There's nothing. It's not like I have one lane that I'm like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I'm gonna be the story guy. I'm gonna be the stats guy. Like,
yeah, I was just gonna say some people are like have you seen those guys that win all of the sports betting, FanDuel and whatever? Like they got spreadsheets and algorithms, and they're like their whole shit is predicting what's gonna happen based on what did happen. Or I find that pretty fascinating.
I just, as long as it's a team that I actually care about, I really don't give two fucks what I write about. Then maybe if it was like I had to go cover some Detroit team or some shit, I'd be like, okay, maybe I want to do something in particular about this team. But like if it was like, oh, go cover the Falcons, like, yes, sir.
6 weeks in Atlanta, got it.
Don't answer all at once. Don't do it. You guys are rushing.
No rushing.
Mine will probably be, some sort of sports management, that or like, wildlife, something.
Ooh, like to be like a park ranger or something.
Yeah, maybe not a ranger, but someone who oversees like a. I don't know if you guys have played Hunter Call the Wild, but like there's like giant reserves that you hunt on. Someone who oversees like a reserve, like somewhere like hundreds of square miles, like kind of area.
About to say something like a game warden.
Yeah, something like that, maybe. Yeah,
ecologist, maybe.
That or sports management, something like that. Because you guys know I love fucking UFC. I love MMA. I'd love to work for the UFC. That'd be awesome.
What matchmaking? What do you major in for that?
Awesome. That's what I major in.
I don't think that's a major, sir.
For the wildlife thing?
Major.
No, for the UFC thing.
Oh. And Dana White.
Probably get your MBA.
Yeah, I was going to say in Dana White.
I don't know, man. I mean...
maybe marketing.
The nutrition shit.
Sports
maybe.
Marketing, actually, I think might be a major. Sports marketing.
Maybe.
Or promotion.
See, I'd rather be in like there's like promoters and all. I'd rather be in like the matchmakers, like, I want this guy. All right, the champ's gonna fight this person next, and then the build up to that. It's like,
dude, that would be a collection of stats, a collection of like all this information, compiling data to figure out like who deserves the next shot.
Yeah, I mean, of course, if football wise, if the New England Patriots want to, offer me a job to like, scout, awesome. How we can beat the Falcons again? Awesome.
That was unnecessary.
Thomas?
My real answer is dumb, but if I didn't have to worry about paying for it or working while I was going to school, I would be like whatever. There's a movie about the guy with Van Wilder. He just stays in school forever. I would be that guy. I want to learn.
So you'd be a lifelong academic.
I could possibly. I mean, I am already an
have studied
insufferable
everything.
blowhard. I don't know, like if it was like a hey, you have 6 months to change your life, I honestly I would become a massage therapist. I maybe also like do physical therapy if it was free, because that's the big thing is like in 6 months I could become a massage therapist. But if I want to be a physical therapist or a neuromuscular physiologist or any of the other fancier versions, I'd have to go to school for 4 years, and I couldn't swing that with my current situation.
Right.
Thomas, I could definitely see you as a teacher of something like that.
Maybe.
You know, teaching something. I don't know.
You got to get into the deep tissue.
Well, and it's partly just because I'm comfortable there. Like my love language is very physical. Like I still like cuddle with my mom. Like I don't have like I don't have a personal space bubble like people are supposed to have. I've always, words can lie, but your touch can't, if that makes sense. Like when someone holds your hand, there's just something about that that's different than them saying something. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
A little bit, but
yeah, it does.
I've also spent my entire life like helping fix the broken people in my family. Like my mother just had her third, maybe fourth major back surgery. My late uncle had 3 back surgeries, a neck surgery and a shoulder surgery. My dad has had 2 neck surgeries, a back surgery, a shoulder surgery, an ankle surgery. Like they're all the men in my family like broke themselves very early in life, and I've been like walking on people's backs, rubbing people's shoulders. I used to get money in high school for gas by massaging my mom's feet. Like I don't know, the language of touch is very familiar to me, and I also just like the instant gratification of it. Like there's nothing, I mean, not for nothing, my first like super serious relationship, the girl was way out of my league. I give a good neck massage, got me in the door. But also like I don't know, it's just like there's what else can you do that just instantly makes someone feel better? You know what I mean? Like not just better, but like you literally can like change someone's life with a proper adjustment. You know what I mean? Like I
Shut the fuck up, Colin.
Clip that out of context. It's fine. So I don't know if you guys have ever had like a major, like have ever like thrown out your back or anything like that. Like as a young man, I watched my mom like wake up in the morning and she would have to roll out of bed onto her knees because she couldn't actually stand up yet. And then she would crawl to a chair where she could slowly stretch and slowly work her way into a standing position so that she could pace around in a circle and cry until it stopped hurting enough that she could go get ready for work. And like I could fix that for 10 minutes. You know what I mean? And like, you know, popping someone's back who's they got a pinched nerve or something, and just the instant relief that you see in their eyes, it's very gratifying. It's almost as good as cooking. It's the same thing.
Those are 2 very drastic different things.
You are literally giving life to another human. And like
childbirth. Childbirth.
Not exactly.
I was gonna say literally.
That
literally,
metaphorically, that's kind of what it boils down to. All of these things are the same instinct, that like maternal nurturing instinct. Like when you feed someone who is hungry, you did a good thing. It doesn't matter what else is going on in that situation. It doesn't even matter what the context. Animal. It doesn't even matter then. It like there's no situation in which feeding someone who is hungry is a bad thing. There just isn't. And like what harm can come from a really good neck massage? I don't know. It's also like you talked about an honest living. That's something I really struggle with. That's
what I'm saying. Like, if you want to be like, because I figured somebody like Cullen probably will be like, "Oh, I go to school to learn how to market my asshole on OnlyFans and make $1 million." Like, no,
Don't gotta
a
market that,
workable,
baby.
honest living. Like, you're still gonna have strife. You're still gonna have struggle. Like an honest living, and yeah, massage therapist.
There's no question.
Sports.
You know what I mean? Like, when you're a massage therapist, people basically like are waiting in line to give you their money because they want you to have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like being a car salesman where you got to like trick somebody into buying a car so you can get money.
Right.
It's not like you're
People
not trying
come to you. Yeah.
They're literally like, please take my money. You deserve it. Like I would very much like that. The way we get money now, there's no angle. You know what I mean?
I get it. Absolutely.
It just seems like a very pure way to live. Not to mention,
it's the road we took to get to this conclusion that was the goof. Not even the goofy, but the emotional roller coaster.
I mean, another thing that really got me on the idea is we had a job fair thing, and this lady came in and gave arm and shoulder massages like for 5 minutes to people, like occupational health style, like, you know, forearm, bicep, joint access, like occupational, repetitive motion injury type massage. And I just got to talk to her during the thing for 5 minutes. And she was like, it's the best thing I've ever done. I used to like wonder what I was actually doing to make the money I made. And now I know exactly what I'm doing. I look every single person I do business with in the eye and they say, thank you. And they mean it. Not to mention the fact that she was in awesome shape because she spends all day working with her body, but not in a way that's like the way we work with our body where we're going to injure ourselves. Like I'm going to need shoulder surgery for sure. I've threw too many boxes and did too many stupid things trying to be tough. And I've broken myself. You know what I mean? Like being a massage therapist is like being your own physical therapist and getting paid for it. You know what I mean? There just doesn't seem to be any downside other than like possibly having to massage people you find unattractive. And I don't really have that problem.
Like someone will have to massage me. Yes.
I'm just saying, like, you know, when you tell a 24-year-old frat boy that you want to be a massage therapist, like, oh yeah, we got the cougars and the blah, blah. It's like, I don't care about none of that. Like, give me a big floppy hairy old man who has a pinched nerve in his left shoulder and wants to cry every time he tries to unzip his pants, and I will fix him and I will feel great about it. I don't give a shit what he looks like. Doesn't bother me. I am obviously a specimen. Like, people have touched me. I can't be judgmental.
There are cool videos I've seen on Facebook where like a guy who like just to lay down on the massage table has to like get to his knees and like take like 10 minutes just to like lay down because he's so fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who does the corrections on his spine and shit like that, and like it hurts the guy, but then when he gets up, he can like get up and like he's like in tears because he's like I've never been able to like do this with no pain. He's like, this is crazy.
Which I want to be that guy really bad. I have like a hero complex, and I feel like that'd be a great way to like temper that, because I get to be a little bit of a hero a few times a day, all the time, instead of trying to like find my moment. You know what I mean? I don't know. I also feel like it's a great way to give back that is probably not thought about by a lot of people. I think it would help alleviate a lot of my like general guilt and anxiety about being alive, to like actually help people one-on-one. I don't know.
You have guilt because you're alive?
Yes. Don't you?
No. I'm alive. The rest can deal with it.
Hell no.
Hey, Tom. You should go to therapy.
One of these years.
Sir, I'm telling you, you're going to be like, God damn it, Cullen, I should have listened to you all 17 of those years, but I should have.
But
sometimes I think it's too late to start.
It's definitely not. It's another irrational thought.
Just to wrap up, lightning round. Cool.
What's the rush?
We can cut into this.
What's the rush?
I want to go to bed, you fucking heathen.
Well, that I have to piss and I'd like to spend time with my wife. But I'm gonna do a lightning
Hell
round. I have
yeah.
one last like personal. I had a couple like broad questions, but it doesn't matter. The factory one, the school one, was the important one. That's why I got that one out. I knew this was kind of running into the long game.
We'll have to
So
do
I'm
a
gonna
sequel
hit-
for this anyway. So
Hell yeah.
I mean, we don't have to, but if you guys want to,
Yes.
I have one
Fuck
more.
you, toot your own horn. Oh, if you insist.
right here,
fuck you, Dan.
Colin. This is
Not
for you
it.
because you're
Yeah,
right there.
uh-huh.
By the way, I have one more personal question.
Whoa,
Each. They're
oh,
simple.
oh,
They're
oh.
quick. Just it doesn't need to be this long thing. Just simple, and then we'll use that to cut it out. If that works for you guys, then we can cut back in. I just wanted to see how far we were into this. So we'll start. I have it. I'll go ahead and start with Caden.
Yes.
For a wrap up, last thoughts, final questions. I'm going to go ahead and run through it. For Caden, I have for this. It's a little goofy, a little silly. They take away guns, they take away bows, right? You have to walk into that fucking forest, that wooded thing. You have to go in there and you have to claim a soul, come out with food. What are you walking in there with? Something unorthodox, something not predictable. A fucking loofah. Like, what are you going in there with? Claim that soul.
What am I hunting?
Deer. It's just to be similar to what you already do. Yeah. Like, you're going to have to face off
hell.
against this motherfucker. It ain't going to be easy. Say something goofy and that deer's going to impale you.
Speaking of impaling, I mean,
Its own antlers.
yeah, I jump on it and fucking twist his neck and be like, you're dead, bitch.
I believe it. Just
short interjection. The first time you played the Connor Assassin's Creed and you got to hunt deer with a knife, did you not have dreams of sitting in a tree and waiting to drop down on top of a deer and kill it with a knife?
I can fucking sit in
Yeah.
the bush and be
I
like,
could do that.
throw fucking grass and be like, it's like, oh, fucking some grass over here. Be like, send
You
it to
tell me
God
after your
that
first hunting
fast.
trip, you didn't know that was possible?
I literally had
Dude.
that dream once a month for a year after I played that game. It seemed so peaceful, just sitting in the tree in the quiet, being so silent, trying not to even breathe. And then you see the deer and it walks right underneath of you and you're like, oh, this is the moment. And then you drop down and you do the deed and you just, it's very like,
It's the moment where you're like, it blades out. Just,
yep, stupid fantasy, I'll admit. But yeah,
Just like that, bro.
it's a strangely calming dream.
All right, Caden, what you got? What's your quick? What's your thing?
I mean,
If you
Probably
had to pick something off a wall to go in there and claim that motherfucker,
well, probably some sort of spear or
Classic.
pedalum or something like that. I mean, I'm trying to think what you could use to,
fuck any sharp
I don't-
implements. I mean,
I
the
don't
spear
feel
was a good
right.
idea.
it'd be very hard to trap something and then be like trap a deer and be like, all right, I'm gonna kill you now. It's so much easier to be like, all right, you're below me, and hopefully hit it in the right spot, lungs, heart, something like that, so it
Right.
runs and dies. No, then like people who trap things, like because then you have to like walk up to that thing and be like,
Hmm.
tell God I
Trap
said
it.
hi,
Yeah, that's interesting
Yeah.
too, because it also, a lot of trapping has to do with preservation. Like the reason why you would prefer to trap versus hunt is because if it's in the trap, it stays alive until you go to find it, which means that you don't have to, you know what I mean?
So, you ever seen beaver trappers? How they trap beavers?
Mean.
Dude, they make a little hole like canal of like mud and shit for them to like, oh, this is a way to go up the thing. And this trap just kind of like a mouse trap where it snaps their fucking spine and they just lay there and die until you come pick them up. Like, I got my fucking fur. I'm gonna sell for $15.
Yeah, I guess that is
No.
a notable thing too. If you're just trying to trap for the fur, it doesn't matter if it's dead or not. But like if you're trying to trap
Yeah.
rabbits so you can eat them, you don't want them to be dead for 2 days while you're,
Exactly.
checking your lines. You want them to be alive on the line so that you can, do the deed when it's time.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like beavers, like it's not like a snap spine insta kill. It's like a snap spine. Okay, I'm gonna lay here and fucking
Mhm.
pretty much starve because
Yeah.
that's like fuck, man. I'm
Mean.
gonna fucking shoot something right through the fucking ear hole, plug it, it's fucking gone.
Dunzo.
You know.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Thomas. All right. A man with enough hobbies to fill at least a few lifetimes. All right. You have to pick and stick and master a single. What would it be?
I do remember you saying this. I have no
Yes, sir.
freaking idea.
Just shot it. Which one? Shot it.
God, it hurts. Like, would I have to like pick a single instrument, or can I just pick all of the instruments?
No. Music itself would be a hobby.
It would probably be the one it's the broadest and the one that I could wring the most out of. I'd probably go with that.
Music.
But also maybe writing. It's one of those things that I never spend the time on because you have to spend a lot of time on writing. Yeah, if I could only do one thing, I might pick something like that because it's also long and exhaustive and you can do lots of different things with it. Creating something, yeah.
Pick one.
What if I want to write musicals? That way I get to do the story and the music. How about that?
Are you writing the musical in a musical?
Not yet.
Or are you writing? I don't know. But anyway, all right, Cullen. Believe it or not, this cold world is capable of such things. Brace yourself, headband. Someone comes in, breaks in the dead of night. Thunder claps, just like your cheeks. Clap. And someone takes all your Funkos. I know. Now, you have to decide in that moment what else in your life you can possibly hoard other than G Fuel cans. What could it be? What is the one collectible that eludes Cullen? Be it time, money, availability. What is the thing that you would collect?
Records.
Really?
Solid.
Seriously?
Yeah, because music. Yeah. The only thing fucking little annoyed. You know, I know Thomas loves music. All right. The only thing I love more than sports in life is music, but it's cool. Yeah, definitely records because they're expensive. But like, also, I just can have all the music on my phone, so it's kind of like, okay, well, like, I really want
What records?
Also, and there's literally one right there. See that? You see right above my finger? That's Good Kid, Mad City.
No, I'm talking
in vinyl.
Okay. I don't care about like anything before 2000. Well, prior to 2000.
None. I don't fucking care about your old trash music. Enjoy it.
Well, we
I don't
just lost
fucking
half
care
the
about
fan
your old
base.
shitty
Yeah,
Queen.
no shit.
Go fucking go listen.
Not even
to,
Queen.
Yeah, go.
Fucking
Go listen to your
Prince,
trash
fucking,
music. Do it.
Led Zeppelin, anything, dude. Like,
Go listen to it, bud. You enjoy yourself.
I got
I'm
you.
not yucking your
Pink
yum.
Floyd.
all
I know
right?
you like.
I'm yucking your yum because it might piss you off, but I'm not actually yucking your yum. So shut the fuck up.
You're fucking what?
NWA, like anything, dude.
Mhm.
Prior to 2000.
No, I'm not listening to NWA.
Why not? Because you
He
hate.
doesn't have
I mean, I
attitude.
would take the listen. Rap
Because you hate.
was not good in its
No.
beginnings. I respect them for what they have done to make my music how it is currently, but rap was very bad in the beginning, and Childish Gambino has a fucking stand-up joke about it, and it's very accurate, and you should look it up.
Hashtag bring back gangster rap.
I'm ready for the fun rap.
Gangster rap, if people want a gangster rap back, then Killer Mike will be platinum. Hashtag Kendrick Lamar line, because Killer Mike is still doing that shit, and he is not.
He's
And
doing
Killer
pretty
Mike
well for
does it good.
himself.
Like that's the best. Well, yeah.
Killer Run the Jewels doing pretty well for themselves. Killer Mike's
Yeah,
also
but
gonna
they're
like
not-
run for Senate soon.
But they're not like big in the rap game, like
That's-
some
they're-
really bad rappers are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, they're not popular in the way that you're. Yeah, I suppose you're right. But it's also
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying.
everyone who is good, who's popular, knows who they are. I don't know. There's a special place in the music business for bands like that, where like they don't hit the charts, but all the people on the charts listen to them because they're good. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the real music heads like will listen to them, but like
yeah, that's a good way to say it. Yeah.
that's what I'm saying, like they're not. Yeah. So fuck you,
the end
Caden.
of the
That's
day-
basically the answer. My answer is fuck you, Caden.
At the end of
Good
the
night,
day,
everyone.
if they're making
I
something
like
that
it.
they're passionate about, it's all that matters.
I know
Just
that
like
you
us.
like music. It's just like if I had to pick one
You're just like, ah,
characteristic
fuck you,
thing.
Cullen.
No, you like a genre. Like
Like
If
I
I-
like many genres.
God
I just like the good music of each genre.
damn it, there it is.
And Caden is not fond of any of them.
What?
Yeah, because
Nor are
What?
you, Mr. Morgan Wallen. Calm down.
Hey, bro, chill. Listen, what don't I like?
we just
Tell me
talked
that.
about
Good
you're talking
music.
to-
I just said that.
What music I like? Well, listen, if
Trash
it sounds
music.
good,
That's what you like.
if it sounds good right here to this ear hole, I like.
I feel as though I've made my point extremely clear here. What you like, good music, or shit, what you like, bad music. What
Yeah.
you don't like, good music. I'll cut that shit. I'm cutting that shit so hard.
No, don't you do that. Don't do that.
I'm doing
Gentlemen,
it.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure to interview you
No, it's
and
not.
give our audience a little bit more insight into your character and your views and your thoughts and your past and all such things that'll be used to blackmail you in the future. Thank you. Our lovely listeners, thank you for going down this rabbit hole, this never-ending Alice in Wonderland wormhole that we have ventured forth and come out a little dumber. What do you got?
Something. All right. All our listeners, follow us on all of our social medias. Go on our Facebook, review the podcast on at Highly Visible Podcast. Review it, give us 5 stars, something. We need those reviews.
True.
Share our stuff, share our content, and that'll help us get bigger. So
Use our
Watch
bullshit to
those,
start arguments
shorts.
with your friends.
yes, the shorts, share the shorts.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And thank you 3 also for participating and being honest.
Thank you, Oprah.
Goodbye.
Thanks, Dan.
Oh, you're
Dan's
more than
music
welcome.
or Caden's music sucks. Bye. I love you.
Shut the fuck up, Cullen.
We post every episode on our YouTube page. Search Highly Visible on YouTube to find us. You can give us a like on our Facebook page, Highly Visible Podcast. We also all use Twitter, and our usernames are all at HighViz, whatever our name is. Dan, Cullen, Caden, and Thomas. We also have a page on Instagram at HighViz Podcast. And Thomas and I are on TikTok, and now our podcast has its own TikTok. And you can find us at HighVizPod, at HighVizCullen, and at HighVizThomas. And if you want all this info in one place, our link tree is linktree.com/highlyvisible. Thanks everyone, we hope you enjoyed the episode.